So the developers of Once Human have actually sponsored me to do a review of an IGN interview that they have, a dev stream that they have, and their recent patch notes, which is interesting because most of the time when you get sponsorships, it's not for that. Most of the time when you get a sponsorship, it's like go play the video game, things like that. But that means that they are very, very confident in the patch notes for this and their kind of like take on what they're going and the direction they're going. Especially because like I had previous interactions with them. I had a meeting with the game developers a while back. One of the devs actually, they work out of China, and they had to sleep at their desk in order to have a conversation to me with 2 translators present. And we had like an hour and a half, 2-hour long conversation about the game and things that I liked and didn't like. And it was very like brutal and direct, which is good. And he took it in stride. He was like, yes, this makes sense. This makes a lot of sense. And we gave all that feedback, and I'm waiting to see if they've taken it to heart. So let's find out. We're going to do this IGN interview first. Cool. I like that reload animation.
By Once Human, available now for free on PC. Once Human places you in a post-apocalyptic world overrun with aberrant creatures inspired by the iconic works of
This is the new boss.
The seasonal renew is coming
next
up,
season.
so to tell us all about it is none other than Global Marketing Manager at Starry Studio, it's Siqi Wan. Welcome.
Hi everyone, and hi Alan. It's great to be here. Nice to meet you.
It's great to meet you too. Thank you for joining us. So let's talk about Once Human. It's seen an active community since launch with a peak.
So first off, before we go forward from this is great to see. This is a good thing. A lot of games today don't have like a face that you can go and talk to. They don't have somebody that's in there. And I think that doing that kind of stuff with the community is a really positive thing, right? No matter what. No, not you mean a girl, anyone, any human being. Anyone that you could refer to and be like, that's a face that I understand. There's a person there. Like, you usually get this with developers. You usually don't get it with marketing managers. So I'm interested to see how kind of that plays out, right? But think like Yoshi P. Having a dev, having anyone there that's like, this is the face of the game, that's an important thing.
Great to be here. Yeah. Nice to meet you.
It's great to meet you too. Thank you for joining us. So let's talk about Once Human. It's seen an active community since launch with a peak player number of over 200,000 players.
Yeah, someone other than the CEO.
Main draw, and what would you like to say to the community?
First of all, we really want to say thank you to Once Human players for their continued love and support. Once Human couldn't have achieved such success without you. Within a month of launch, our Steam peak current users have exceeded 230K, becoming 5th on the Steam most played chart and 7th on the top seller chart in July. Our Discord community member has surpassed 650K, all of which have proven the love and enthusiasm of our players. So once again, thank you so much for your support. We'll continue to polish our Once Human to bring players an even better service and content. When it comes to what makes Once Human so popular, firstly, we try to provide a rich supernatural open-world survival experience. Lots of our players mentioned how much they love the unique world and monster design. Secondly, there's no...
Yeah, a call out for that right there, the monster design. I absolutely love the spiders that are built up like light bulbs. You never see that. They did a lot of really interesting monster designs that are not the normal tropes that you see across all other monsters in all other video games. Like spiders that are light bulbs, flying like insects that are light bulbs that actually like burst when they get near you because they overheat and do shit. Baby heads that have legs coming out of them that are creepy, like little doll heads. Some of the stuff in there is wild, dude. Like mimics that are fridges. So when you get near the fridge, it like bursts open and it's a mimic and tries to kill you. Really just neat shit, dude. Monsters that have lights on their heads and you can pull the head off the light and you can use it as a weapon. Like just cool shit. I like that. Toy Story, it's kind of, yeah, it's a little bit Toy Story.
Monetization system has also received praise from media and all of our players.
Yeah, no pay to win.
The community is calling us the least pay-to-win free game in recent memory.
Yep.
Last but not least, we try our best to show respect and respond quickly to suggestions and feedbacks from players worldwide.
They have, to their credit.
But yeah, actually being able to jump in myself, I can definitely give you guys some kudos on your monster design and world because it truly is something
Fridge mimics get you every time. They really do.
Now, Once Human features a unique seasonal system that differs pretty significantly from other MMOs.
I hated it. I'm going to be completely honest. I hated the seasonal system. So I'm interested to see how they have changed this.
It has prompted some discussions among players. So could you please elaborate on how your system works?
So firstly, I want to differentiate the two concepts in the game, scenario and season. A scenario is a gameplay theme of a server, which means a combination of rules, game modes, and gaming content. We created this concept hoping to bring a richer gaming experience and different choices to our players. For example, the scenario we introduced after launch is a PvE scenario called Minibus and a PvP scenario called Evolution's Call. On the other hand, a season means the cycle and progress of a scenario. During each season, the in-game content may vary based on scenario you signed up for, and each scenario will be split into several phases based on their feature.
Yep.
As your server progresses and the time passes by, more in-game content will be unlocked.
So basically what they're referring to is the scenario is actually the game setting, the world for that season, and the season is the passage of time. It's just setting up the terminology, basically.
When the season comes to the final phase, which we called a settlement phase, you are offered a choice to sign up for a new scenario, or you could choose to stay until the settlement phase is over.
Now, some players have expressed concerns that this will be a seasonal wipe. Can you give us more details and break down how it works?
So first of all, seasonal wipe is an inaccurate saying. Scenario is very important feature of Once Human. At the end of the scenario, players would come across what we call a seasonal renew. This seasonal renew process is not a wipe. After entering a scenario settlement phase, players will be given the opportunity to sign up for a new scenario and start a new adventure, where they will keep their original characters, appearance, rare currencies, long-term development content like blueprints, modules, and inheriting some of the material according to the new scenario material entry rules to aiding their character growth.
I don't think that makes sense to me. So there is a wipe happening. It is wiping certain content from your character. Your character's level gets wiped. You have to start over from the beginning. You may keep all those other things, but there's still content being wiped. I do think that sidesteps the issue that players are upset about, legitimately. I don't think that that makes sense.
We value the efforts players put into the game. Players will receive different rewards based on their performance in their previous scenario. These rewards can be carried over to the next scenario to help with their exploration.
So since this isn't a wipe, what content and progress will players be able to keep after the seasonal renew? Will they lose their house, rares, and paid items?
Again, we value the efforts and time players put into Once Human. Even when a scenario is over or...
Okay, so let's take a look at this. Things that do transfer over. You can transfer the following content to your depot on Eternal Ed. Before the next season begins, you can bring some resources along with you into the next journey. Weapons and armor, regular resources such as materials, medicine, and bullets, deviations, calibration blueprints, and energy links. Retained in your Eternal End depot, you can bring them to other scenarios so long as you meet the requirements. I wish that was less vague. What is the requirements? What does that mean? Like, is it a level thing? Is it an in-game currency thing? Like, what is it? What is the requirements? Yeah, exactly. What do the requirements mean here? Right. The next one is convert to astral sand and use it to build an eternal ender buy supply. So energy links, those become useless, which makes sense because that's an in-game currency. You delete that at the end of the season, it turns into sand. Cool. You cannot take the following content for the associated scenario into a new scenario. Map exploration progress, character level XP, scenario core gameplay items, specialization items crafted using mimetic specialization. So like, I get that. I understand it. I'm going to be real with you. I like having a bank in World of Warcraft, and between seasons in World of Warcraft, I save all my old cool items that I think are really neat. I just do. And I think that's fine. It's Diablo 4? Not really. So like Diablo 4, you get to have a non-seasonal character that never gets wiped, right? This is like at the end of a seasonal character. Like imagine the end of a Diablo season, and at the end of the Diablo season, your character goes back to level 1 and then can play the next season. But you don't get to retain your character in an infinite world. Does that make sense? That's what they're doing. That's why people are talking about, because it's a wipe. That's a wipe. That's a wipe of character progress. Yeah.
When a player decided to exit a scenario halfway, they can take away the rewards and accept from some extremely rare cases and items specifically related to scenario and memetics. However, to ensure that each scenario offers a complete gaming experience and allow all players to enjoy the gaming regardless of their progress, there are some things that players could carry over, like character nickname, body shape, appearance.
So let's see. These all carry over. You can take the following content from their associated scenario to a new scenario. Names, body sizes, your characters, cosmetics, the super hardcore materials, gear blueprints and their ratings, blueprint fragments, weapon accessories, mods, and food recipes, furniture formulas and building blueprints, seasonal items, your friends and group chats. You don't have to leave them behind, Chat. Task completion progress. So for the main story and side stories, you complete the scenario. You can play their streamlined version in a new season or go through the full version for a second time. Event progress and materials. You can check them in the event screen. Okay.
Friend relationship, rare currencies like Christian, Starcrom, Mitsuko's Mark, etc.
It's a soft wipe, yes.
Long-term development items like equipment blueprints, fragments, weapon accessories, modules, recipes, cosmetics, territory house blueprints, furniture formula, and furniture except those unlocked by the mimetic specialization.
The streamlined version of the story idea is quite good.
Quest progress. Players can fast experience the completed quests in the simplified version and get rewards in the new adventure. Also, there are items that will be transferred to the Eternal Land. After the beginning of the new scenario adventure, players can carry some of the previous resources from Eternal Land into the new season to assist in the growth and development, like crafted gear, weapons, regular resources like materials, medicines, armors, deviation, collaboration, blueprints. In addition to the item above, due to the special nature of the scenario feature and game balance consideration, some of the game data will not be inherited to the next season. These include items strongly related to the gameplay mechanism of the previous scenario.
Okay, so all of the items that are specifically tied to the storyline of the previous scenario go away. That makes sense. I don't think anything's wrong with that. Yeah, having to re-level is the biggest thing, Mr. Jolly Bear. I think that's not great for a lot of players because I'll be real with you, right? We get like an emotional attachment to our level. We get an emotional attachment to our things. You lose those things, you lose the level, you have to start over. You may be able to build them back, but like, right? You do the exact same thing you do now without having a wipe, and that's what players are upset about, which makes sense.
Echo Stone in the Manibus scenario.
So let's keep watching.
Special item created through mimetic specialization like Solar Drill, character level experience, map exploration progress is collaboration blueprints. In addition to the item above, due to the special nature of the scenario feature and game balance consideration, some of the game data will not be inherited to the next season. These include items strongly related to the gameplay mechanism of the previous scenario, like Echo Stone in the Manibus scenario, special item created through mimetic specialization like Solar Drill.
I thought I didn't lose my items.
Character level experience, map exploration progress, etc.
So why does Once Human have this seasonal renew?
First, we want to provide players with a more immersive and richer gaming experience. Once Human offers different kinds of scenarios with different gaming content, rules of winning, and pacing of growth. We hope that by setting a play period, players will be able to fully immerse themselves in the backstory of the scenario.
I want to see what they're doing with the scenarios at this point, because if they're wiping, basically what we've come down to is they're wiping your character progress, right? They're wiping your level. They're taking items away, but only specific items. So they kind of drew that back, and they're taking away certain, like all the scenario stuff. Scenario items. So like, what
For example,
is the point of it?
In one of our current PvE scenario, the world will change the season stage and unlocked over time, which allow players to be more immersed in the urgency of Manibus' storyline. Furthermore, when a player finishes their adventure in a scenario, they can choose what they want to play next, instead of being stuck in an unchanged world. Secondly, the mechanism world facilitates co-play between old and new players. The periodical reset of some content like level is more conducive to allow players with different game progress and experience to play together. When a veteran player and his newcomer friends want to play together in the game, they can sign up for the same scenario and start their adventure together.
We have the same thing in other games like World of Warcraft, which is time walking, where you can go and do each of these types of things without losing your character progress. I think the major contention is that players who are high level lose that level. And I think that's the problem. And on top of it, with the server locks and the servers being full, that ends up making it very difficult to be able to have those types of engagements. I do think I understand the direction they're going. I understand what they're trying to do, and it's not negative for the player. I don't think it'll pan out the way that they want it to for that direction, though. I think that having a character ever lose levels makes me feel bad, right? As a player. I think it does. Yeah, I don't want to leave a level over time. I think time walking is probably the best example of this I've ever seen. Yeah. Seems negative to me. I can understand.
Although veteran players could have some advantages in the collection
let's see if they fix it, though.
diversity
We're gonna
of
keep
some
watching.
long-term development items, it would not be difficult for old and new players to play together because of the huge difference in progress and ability as it in traditional MMORPG. Third, it could create a fairer gaming environment. With seasonal renew, we could also avoid the problem of inflation and veteran players dominating the game as happens in some traditional MMOs.
I can see what they're trying to do there. They're trying to stop it so that your endgame players they won't be able to roll the new players, right? Does this stop that, though? Because I have access to all those blueprints? And because I have access to all those blueprints, wouldn't I be able to create things faster than other players, which gives me more power creep more quickly? I think that still will.
We want to create a fair gaming environment in the long run for all of our players.
Well, that's great to hear that you're putting new players very much top of mind, because sometimes that's something that's very jarring to go into as a new player to an MMO that's been around for a while. It's like, oh my god, everyone's so over leveled. So it's great to hear that you guys are really focusing on that new player base and wanting more people to come into the world of Once Human. Now, will every season last for 6 weeks before the seasonal renew happens?
So first of all, the length of season varies depending on the setting of the scenario, and it's not a fixed 6 weeks. As I've mentioned, a scenario means a combination of rules, game mods, and gaming content. With different scenario comes different lengths of season. It could be 6 weeks, 10 weeks, or even longer. Meanwhile, at the final phase of the season, there will be a settlement phase, in which players could choose to stay in the same scenario for as long as 4 weeks to finish the exploration, come back, or they could choose to sign up to enter another scenario in a different server right away.
That's kind of weird. The settlement phase is basically like the server's dead, it's over, but I can stay here for a little bit more to wrap up all of my findings, the stuff that I want to do. That's really interesting. I think that's kind of cool. It's a grace period for the player. I don't know if I would engage in that because I'd feel like I want to go to the next scenario, right? Yeah. I can understand what they're trying. What we're seeing here, dude, you're seeing a developer try a bunch of shit we've never seen before. That's what you're seeing. And some of this is going to stick and some of it's not going to stick. But they're trying something we have never seen. We have never seen this. And because of that, we're like, what the hell are you doing? And some of that stuff is kind of interesting, and some of it is like really not interesting. So it's really not compelling, right? But it's new, so that makes sense. They're trying to find the fun, which is not a bad thing, man. It's not. I think it was, when we first got it, we're like, what the hell is this? And now it's kind of moving in a better direction. Yeah, it's a learning opportunity. They're learning new shit. Interesting take in balancing live service PvP game. Yeah, I think that's one of the things that like is quite weird. The wipe could be solved by one thing for me, which is make it so that towns degrade. I feel like towns degrading would make the most sense. Like, give them a resource that they have to pump into it. If it runs out of resource, it deletes, right? Because we do the same thing in block game. They do now? Did they add that? Where is that?
In this case, players could invite friends from the same different server, same or different server to join the same new scenario and play together. So
this is basically they give codes to each player, and that player is able to bypass the restriction on a server to invite their friends. I don't know how far that goes, though. The PvP is not that great, honestly, at least in my opinion. Sure, I could see that. I mean, the game's been out for 6 weeks, so maybe that will improve. That may take time, right? That, I think, needs to cook more, right? For me to get a real understanding of it. I think the PvP people were complaining about it was like PvP servers weren't really even PvP at that point. Yeah. Still has a maximum limit that can be put on the server. True. The PvP feels like a DPS check every time. I think that has to be ironed out every time, dude. Because DPS check is always going to be your early days PvP. Who's got the bigger gun? Who can fire the thing real fast? Use a shotgun or a bazooka, right? Like that's always happens. Always happens. No matter what.
The length of current 2 scenario minibus and evolutions call include a 6-week main phase and 4-week settlement phase. After the main phase, the settlement phase of the season ends, the server will be closed. If you haven't decided which new scenario to join by then, your character will return to Eternal Land with their items and progress carried over, as we introduced earlier.
Okay.
And you could continue playing and sign up for a new scenario at any time. The season length is a comprehensive decision based on the content of the scenarios and pace of the player's experience of the scenario. And we will further optimize it based on the player's feedback on different scenarios in the course of the operation. Please do not hesitate to share your idea with us through the official Discord.
I'd really like to see probably a permanent scenario because, like, I'll give you an example. Right, when we go and play Diablo, when you play Diablo seasonal content, the way that this works is like you have your seasonal character, and then at the end of the season, your seasonal character becomes a non-seasonal character, and you can play that character infinitely, just in the non-seasonal content. And when there's another season, you don't keep that character; you make a new one for the seasonal content. You have a new character. So, like, I'd be interested to see if that works. I'd be really interested to see if that works. You know? So yeah, like PoE, Path of Exile and Diablo do this exact thing. So I'd be interested. So they're working on a permanent one? Well, let's keep learning from this then.
All right, so the first season lasts for 6 to 10 weeks, which means the second season is coming soon. Can you give us any details about the new season, the new scenarios?
Absolutely. We actually will have a major update this week with the following content: new animal captures and taming gameplay, new Ancient One gameplay, a redesign of the fishing system, new events about vehicle driving which allows you to explore this massive open world, and Deviant card collection events.
Okay.
In September and October, we will be introduced to brand new scenarios, including the Faction Battle PvP scenario in September.
Okay, that is interesting. Faction Battle PvP sounds kind of interesting. I'd be interested in seeing that. I want to see how they play that out. Because, yeah, some people were like, oh, it's DPS war. Have you ever done Destiny 2 PvP, man? Because that's also DPS. It's whoever slides and uses shotgun faster. So,
And the new Temperature Survival PvE scenario in October. Other than that, we were also working on the ultimate PvP scenarios with longer season cycle and permanent scenario, and they will all be available in the future. Please stay tuned.
Sichi, thank you so much for joining me to chat through the future of Once Human.
Thank you, Alan. Thank you for having me today. To all of our players worldwide for Once Human, if you want to know more about our upcoming content, please follow us on the social media and official Discord. Stay tuned for the future updates.
Once Human is available right now on PC, and you can look forward to the brand new update on August 15th. Thanks for watching, and for all things Once Human, keep it locked to IG.
I was hoping that it'd be more of like a, I guess more of a nitty-gritty interview. The interview feels very shiny, if that makes sense. I'd like to have more of those like deeper questions answered and like more aggressively on that kind of stuff. Yeah, softball interview, bit softball. That being said, it did give me some compelling stuff to think about. I am interested in the seasonal like PvP faction shit. I want to see how that goes, right? I don't know how that would function in this game because like you said, PvP is a little bit weak, but what is factional PvP like? What are they doing, right? That's a wild-ass thing to add. Be like, hey, so we're dropping factional PvP in the game for this update, for this season. What? Like, that's really cool, actually. Like, that's actually kind of cool. And I don't know if it will be compelling and fun or not, right? That might be interesting. Yeah, expound on it. Exactly. That's something I want to know about. So let's go on to the next one. We have another video. That was the IGN interview. We're going to go to the dev interview that they have.
What's up, everyone? This is Sichi, and I'm the Global Marketing Manager for Once Human. And welcome to join today's
Name and face. Good.
live stream events. And this is your old friend, Liz. Hi.
Kind of an ad presented as an interview. It's not that they didn't dig too hard. Yeah, I mean, you get a lot of that kind of stuff. The thing that I always try to do, man, if you're going to do live events like that, you're going to do interviews, I'd rather have the public ask the questions, like 100%. And yes, I do, Kronos. Yes. Yeah, I think I'd always rather have the public ask the questions. I'd like to have some unstaged time, if that makes sense. Yeah. DevStream is really good. The devs are very down to earth and sweet. That's what I'm looking forward to, which is this. These types of engagements I think are better. I think that the IGN spot was likely felt unnatural, if that makes sense, because it's like a very curated experience. And live streams, things go wrong and do all kinds of shit. So we're going to watch the live stream and see how that feels.
This is Liz, and long time no see. I'm the developer of the Once Human, and we've met once on the previous live, if you guys still remember. And clearly I did a great job. That's why they invite me once again. So I cannot wait to share with you what we have done these days.
Okay, Liz will join me to introduce the first major update for Once Human after the
more
global
volume?
launch.
All
Stick around, you won't want to miss it. A friendly reminder, you're probably aware Once Human will be down for maintenance in a couple of hours. Please plan your time accordingly. Do watch this live, please.
Please. Yeah, just to let you know, if you have any questions, feel
See, this is much more natural, dude. This is like way more natural. The interview with IGN felt very canned. Does that make sense? It felt like canned and unnatural. This is what you want. This is going to go so much more for the community than any of the stuff that happened with IGN. I like this so much more already.
free to drop them in the chat, and we'll try to answer as many as possible.
Correct. We may not be able to answer all the questions immediately, but we will take notes after this live. We'll discuss this question internally and provide feedback through Discord, probably through the Devs Talk series.
Oh, and I got one last thing that I definitely want to mention. Please make sure to follow our official social media and join our official community.
Normal call to action stuff.
In this way, you won't miss any updates.
All right, let's jump into the main course.
So the first session
Hoi.
is a Q&A session. We'll answer some of the most frequently asked questions from our players recently.
She does have cool
well,
hair.
we're
Yeah.
also going to check the chat box, so feel free to drop your questions in.
Yeah, exactly. And after the Q&A session, we'll introduce our plans during the upcoming months, including a period of scenario blast, which means from August this month till October, every month we're going to release a new scenario. This is sort of like an annual carnival, right? Stay tuned.
So something that's kind of funny about this, when I say that this is much more human, this is much more interactive and like down to earth, you have the things that they have to say. They obviously have scripted stuff they have to talk about. This is a marketing engagement. But between each one of those, they have little mannerisms, they have little things and jokes and things that they're doing with the audience, stuff that isn't really on script. That's really cool to see. It's very humanizing, right? It's more relaxed, exactly. That's what you want, man. Because like if you go back and you watch anything from like Overwatch 2 or Overwatch, right? You watch all those videos with the devs and you watch all that kind of stuff. You can see the human being showing through, which is what you want. You want to have that. You want to have a human being there, humanize the devs, actually show them like who they're talking to. And if it's just a scripted marketing engagement, you don't get any of that. And this has a lot of that in it, which is good. It means that they're flexible and they're open enough to have, you know, them be up there and be themselves on top of doing the marketing.
Okay,
activity.
during this live, we'll
allowed
be
to play
giving you
around
a
a
brief overview of today's update,
Kaplan was good,
along
yeah.
with a demonstration of some of the new gameplay features.
Yeah, that's the general plan for today's live, and we all have also prepared some events on our Twitter and our Twitch channel. So the Twitter event is post a screenshot of you watching the stream with the hashtags OnceHuman and DevStream, and you'll be entered to win. We will select 5 lucky viewers to receive a $10 Steam card and a special redeem code.
Call to actions.
And the Twitch event is we have prepared 2 redeem codes, and we'll review these codes later during the stream. So stay tuned and keep watching. Oh, I forgot.
I love me a good call to action, dude. Like I always do. I'm always interested in like how a business does their CDA. They're like, hey, you should go follow this thing. Hey, you might get a code. Like all these types of like, yeah, all the marketing, right? Do our marketing for us? No, I mean like part of it is that where they're like, oh man, you can go and do the thing. But like people love a sweepstakes, man. They do. People love a sweepstakes. They love putting that stuff out there. They love like winning a thing. I don't think anything's wrong with that. And you see a billion different companies do it. And I don't think it's I don't think it's like a negative, to be real with you. It's just like
And
something
there's the
fun.
most exciting part is that we will draw 3 lucky viewers from the live chat to receive the free fashion set Psychedelic Skull, which is one of the top rewards from the coming update.
It's super cool.
So keep watching the live to learn how to get it.
Yeah, and the biggest thing is you're like, oh, people love a gamba. I mean, it has to be it can't be an illegal lottery, number one. It has to be specifically no one's buying anything, no one's paying for anything. They're just doing something and they're like, hey, I could win this. It's totally random, right? That's important. I think there's nothing wrong with that. I don't think there's anything ever wrong with that. It's kind of cool for the people that win, right? If the people don't win, they get to, go try a thing and enjoy it and try to put something out on social media. I've never had anything against that. The problem is when you're demanding people buy something for entry, then you have an issue. It starts to get really bad. And they're not doing that.
Okay, let's go.
Having covered today's live stream benefits, let's dive straight into the Q&A
Yeah, DE
session.
does it all the time too. Digital
I've
streams.
noticed a lot of metas, they've mentioned that they're still unsure about the definition of scenarios or seasons in Once Human. Can we okay, well,
Yeah, so like
let
scenarios.
me explain it directly.
Yeah.
What it sounds like is the scenario is actually the setting, and then the season is the time through that setting. So if it takes 6 weeks, the season is that 6 weeks. That's the way they explained it before. We'll see if that's
I'm gonna
correct.
explain it. Yeah, here's an image about the scenario update. So scenario is our term for the theme of each server. During the global launch phase, we have introduced the two scenarios, like a PvE scenario called Minibus and a PvP scenario called Evolution's Call.
That's how they have it
Currently,
now.
some servers
It's
should be
ending,
nearing
like,
the
today.
end of the first season. Starting from August 17th, most players will get the notification
Tomorrow, I guess.
for the registration phase for the new scenarios. So there's a coming scenario. It's kind of like the advanced level for Minibus and Evolution's Call. So players could choose to sign up for the new scenarios or remain in the current.
You said the DE ones feel very, casual. These ones feel like these hosts feel pretty stressed out. I'm going to be real with you. You have a new game that just launched that had a lot of problems with the community. It is starting to redeem itself. It's trying to go in the right direction. And they're being put up for the first time doing this. I'd be nervous as shit. Like, let's just be completely honest, right? Any one of us would be super nervous. And I know that because I've been there and I've done it. And it's like, man, like after we launched Diablo 3 and it was like error 37, you think I'd want to do a live stream? Like, they're doing awesome. These two are holding it like real cool, man. That's a rough thing to walk in and be like, all right, we're going to do this, That's tough. So I commend that.
Current one, beginning on August 18th.
It's also, you've
players
got a
will
language barrier there too, for sure. Language barrier is very tough. Yeah.
gradually
agree
be
with
able
that.
to enter the new scenario and experience the new scenario difficulty level. In the upcoming months, from August to October, as Liz have mentioned, there's a period of time which we call the scenario blast, during which we're going to provide new scenario content for players consecutively 3 months. So we're gonna explain it later.
Yeah.
Then about the concept of season, Liz, could you explain it a little bit?
Yeah, sure. So season, on the other hand, refers to the duration and progression of a scenario. Each season cycles varies depending on the scenario you enrolled in. So
The bus art in the background is insane. That's an in-game model. I've climbed inside of that thing. It carries a chest around. It's not an enemy. If you find it, run up to it, and it'll drop down so you can get inside, and there's a chest inside, and you get loot.
it's divided into several
Yeah.
stages based on its unique features and gradually unlocking game content as the server days progress to ensure you a rich and varied gameplay experience. Once all scenario
It's really
content
cool,
is
yeah.
unlocked, player will be led to the final phase of
Chinese spyware game? No, it's not. I know that everybody wants to make that kind of a take. We've talked about this previously in the past. We've actually done a security review of the game. No, it is not. And it's really easy for people to make those types of statements, but I'm going to be real with you. That shit's just racism. Like, there's absolutely nothing that does that. All the things that it takes in the TOS are exactly the same things that other games take in their TOSs as well. Nothing is different. For any live service game, they have to take all of that information in the regions where it is required. So the people who are talking about the things of like, oh man, they want your ID. No, they don't. They only want your ID if you live in South Korea or China. And the reason why is because South Korea and China require your government issued ID to be tied to your video game account. Why? Because they don't want you to be playing the games too hard. And if you commit a crime in the game, it has to tie back to you as an individual. That's not like that in the country that you're in. They still have to put it in the TOS and state that it's based on local laws. Nothing is different. So the idea of like, oh, Chinese spyware game, you're a racist. That's what that means. Stop it.
You can carry your achievements to a new scenario by enrolling into it and experiencing a different new content, or just stay in your island. And of course, you can also stay on the current server to complete your unfinished adventures until the adjustment phase ends. which currently will last for 4 weeks. This is the gameplay mode we aim to provide, offering diverse and...
How does Once Human free-to-play make money? They're doing cosmetics. They have no pay-to-win, which is really bold, to be honest with you, because they have like a really weird game mode that we've never really seen before. We usually see like an MMO do this, and instead of releasing scenarios, they release like zones, right? They release like a zone. And then that zone stays forever. And then they release another zone, and that zone stays forever. It's no pay to win. So like, this is nothing we've ever seen before. It's completely new. We haven't seen this before. And I think that's bold as shit. Some of it I don't like. Some of it I do like. And I think it just comes down to that, where it's like, they're trying something new. We've never seen this kind of a thing. And it's fully pay to cosmetic. So like, that's really neat. Maybe it'll, keep evolving to something good. When it first launched, I was like, Jesus Christ, why are you wiping all this shit? But they've kind of changed this into it, right? Into something different with this.
Differentiate.
Yeah, they changed the map entirely.
Let's check out the
That's the idea. Anyway. We're waiting to see
picture.
tomorrow.
Come on, so we can better understand the whole season.
Because fashion is the true endgame. Warframe player detected.
Thing.
Yeah, take a screenshot if you need it.
Yeah.
And I know you guys must got a lot of questions regarding the season setting. So
what do you mean the game is already really good? I think the game is good in some aspects. I think the PvP is a little weak. I think that the wiping mechanic is unnecessary. And I'd like to see an infinite scenario, one that never ends, right?
do let us know.
It's like a non-seasonal character war,
many
right?
players are worried about all their hard-earned progress will disappear once the season ends. Liz, could you clarify this?
Yeah, sure. What I want to highlight is that all your efforts are valuable. Whether the scenario ends or you just exit in the midway, you can carry over most of the rewards you obtain in this scenario. Yeah. Come on, let's take a look at the specific rules together. We will share the pictures through our social media, and you can also check
But this is the same video that we went over before, the same thing, so we're probably going to skip past this piece, but like, the things that you can take the following content from their associated scenario to a new scenario. It's like characters and cosmetics. If you buy a cosmetic, you keep it forever. If you find a cosmetic, keep it forever. Materials, in-game progress content, so like gear blueprints or blueprints and that stuff, furniture formulas and building house blueprints, seasonal items, honor, shield patterns, cultivation, essence, and more. I'd be interested to know what all seasonal items that counts for. Friends. So your friends in group chats, none of your guild shit gets removed. That's good. Task completion, progress. Main story tasks and side story tasks you've completed in the scenario. You can play other streamlined variant in a new season. So this is a good one, dude. That's a huge thing. One of the worst things that I could experience is like, you wipe my content, so I have to sit through all the cutscenes again. God, I would lose my mind. I would hate that. So the fact that they have this as a streamlined thing on the new ones, that's good. I think that is a positive thing entirely. I don't want to deal with doing the same cutscenes again. I don't want to deal with any of that, right? I just want to go collect my 5 pumpkins and move on, right? Yeah, so that's good. Worst thing about PoE, I can agree with that. I don't like that in PoE. Every time you make a character, you have to sit through every scene. You can skip some stuff, but not all of it. This is good that they have it fully streamlined for that. Event progress and materials, so you can check them in the event screen. I'd be interested to see what those are.
Maybe take a screenshot and remain for later. So yeah.
What I want to mention is the current picture is showing everything that you guys could inherit through the website. So this picture shows.
So you can transfer the following content to your depot in Eternal Land. Before the next season begins, you can bring some resources along with you on the new journey. I'm still cagey about this. You can bring some resources. No one's going to know what that means until we do it. Tomorrow is when we do it, I guess, is like when it happens. Yeah, some is vague. I don't like vague. Vague is annoying. And I think that's where a lot of contention is going to lie, right? Yeah, resources, not items. Bingo. Items don't get kept. So like weapons and armor, it says weapons and armor, yes, but that says scenario specific. Retained in your Eternal Land depot, you can bring them to other scenarios as long as you meet the requirements. Does that mean I can put a weapon or armor in a chest until I meet the requirements to wear it, or until I meet the requirements to take it out? That's where the question lies for me, right? Is there a requirement? Do I have to use a currency to take it out? Or is it level requirements? That's the problem. You say level requirements, but you don't know. It's vague. That's the problem. So like, let's keep listening. We'll see if they answer this.
Those items you need to bring them to the Eternal Land after the season ends, and you gotta if you want to bring some of it to the next season, you're gonna
exchange.
You're using some points to redeem it. And the bottom
so that you're using some points to redeem it.
Side is something you cannot inherit it to the next season.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Okay. After answering questions related to season and scenario.
Yeah, that's the problem. That's the issue that I was having the whole time, because I believe they had a certain number of points that you get at the end of every season, and then you can use that to exchange stuff. But like, how many? It's just a convoluted system sort of a thing. Like, I just want kind of a cut and dry, like, do I get to keep it or not? Like, you know what I mean? That's my feedback to that, for sure.
Some other frequently asked questions. Actually, after the global launch, I saw many negative reviews.
It is extra complicated.
On Steam,
I think that's the thing, is we're always going to start with like weird complicated portions, and then as players go, that's complicated, they're going to be like, okay, let's whittle this down a little bit. So it's like a big old block of marble, and they're chipping off the pieces until they find something cool.
People, they are complaining about the only one character can be created per server. I just want to say sorry for the bad experience. We have already fixed it, and we have some more updates that we want to share with you guys.
Yeah, I see. Whether from a developer's perspective or as a player, we of course want you guys to have an enjoyable gaming experience. I could see.
Fix the lag? That's on your end, bud.
And originally, we have some restrictions oriented by the purpose to make a best experience, as the land and space is limited in the open world. And
so someone said fix the tutorial, like make it so you can skip the tutorial. They actually talked about that earlier. Apparently, grand majority of the story can be skipped after you've already beaten it in the first scenario.
We don't want you to be homeless.
Yeah.
So a limitation is the best solution for us at that time to give you a better room. While of course we are still working on enhance our tech and lifting the limits and to help you with a better experience. And for your short time, so in today's update, we are gladly introducing a new feature.
Oh, you're saying fix the lag in the game. I'm going to be real with you. As a dev, fix the lag is the most useless statement a developer can ever hear. It's the most useless. And the reason why is anytime there's any lag in game, you all stand in town screaming the word lag in all caps. That tells a developer nothing. Nothing. Fix the lag! Like, there's so many complicating factors there. Is your internet shitty? Is the server under serious load? Is it happen only when there's like a lot of particle effects? Is it client side? Is it server side? Like this, it's just useless. That's why I always react with like, no, dude, like, no. Because it's not helpful information. You have to say, I'm experiencing lag at this time. These are the things that are a problem. This happens, I can repeat it every time when this goes on. If it was specifically Prime Wars that were having an issue, report that. But fix the lag is just like a meme, dude. It's always going to be a meme. You're the dude standing in town screaming lag.
Yeah, the special invitation codes, which means players can use an invitation codes provided by a friend to join that friend's server.
Yeah, can you share more about that? And like, do you mean even if the server is full, I can also still invite my friends to join my current server?
Mm-hmm.
So this is an interesting feature. They're trying to fix the problem right now. And what the problem is if you are in a server and you play that server for a small amount of time, there's a certain amount of number of players that can actually join the server and make an account. And then there's a certain number of players that can actually be on the server at a time. The problem is this one fills up. When it fills up, nobody can make characters again. And this one slowly goes down over time because people just don't want to play anymore. They're not that interested. So because of this, eventually the server dies. And you got like 3 dudes on there and no one can make new characters. So they're implementing a system where you as a player get a number of codes and you can send those to people that will allow this to be ignored. That lets new people create characters on your server. And it's for your friends. So it's so you can play with your friends is the idea. So like, I'm interested to see how this works. I'm a little bit worried that it's a bit of kick the can, right? Where you're like, oh, it's just going to kick the can down the road, right? You say it's just 5 codes. It's not really, because it's 5 codes to invite people, and then they also get 5 codes. So it's just kind of a thing, right? I think that's the thing about it, where it's interesting to see what the direction for that is, right? I don't know if this is going to work. I haven't really seen anyone do this ever. Yeah, viral servers, right? It's interesting. And that's the thing, is I think they're taking a shitload of risks. And I'm kind of here for it, right? I'm kind of interested to see like, how does this work? Because I've never seen anyone do that. And it's rare to see that in the industry. You're like, wow, you're taking a lot of weird risks. I'm sure half of those aren't going to work out, but the other half might be really neat. Like, that's fine. Take the risks. Let's see what happens, right?
Well, I really hate the queuing.
Yeah, I see. Indeed, that's correct. So here, there are extra slots we provide.
The codes could get abused pretty badly. How would you expect a code like that to be abused, right? Just by having people come in and play the game? I mean, there's no like thing there. Alt accounts? How would that be abusive? Yeah. Yeah, I don't think there's any abuse that can happen there, really. Alt accounts are not like an abuse of the system. You just have your alt account on there. It doesn't really matter, right? You can have one account per you can only have one account per server. So like
players could use the invitation codes to enter a running scenario. And
large groups or groups chain inviting? That's kind of the point. The system is designed for guilds to do this. The system is designed for you to get your friends in and them to get their friends in. It's designed to try and counteract the idea of a dead server. It's there to make it so that those servers can thrive again. Yeah. There's still a cap on the server. Yeah, there is. But I am interested to see if this helps band-aid the problem, right? It's an attempt to move in the right direction. Won't it ruin PvP? No. You still have to beat people in PvP.
Also start as a newbie, even though maybe
they still start at level 1.
The scenario or the server is already in the midway. And each player can only invite 5 friends to join you.
Malicious mass account creation? Server. They'd have to all buy a copy of the game.
5.
They'd have to all be on there. Like, that doesn't... If you're doing malicious mass account creation, you wouldn't need that in the first place. I know the game's free. You'd have to go and make a Steam account for every single one of them. You'd have to go and download the client for every single one of them. You'd have to go and jump into the server using a friend code. To what end? When we see botting in games, we see it for financial advantage. There is no financial advantage in botting a creation of an account on a dead server. That doesn't make any sense. Like, just to bash the video game? Like, I mean, I guess, but like, that's not like really a thing. They have their own launcher too? Okay, then you just have to make a character through that. Again, there's nothing that benefits the attacker there. Yeah, nice expression of process. It's pretty good. I think so.
This feature involves many players and servers. Maybe some issues will arise.
Yeah, it does happen. They'll just make changes. It's not a big deal.
While
that
using this feature, let us know on Discord. Anyways, we're gonna stay with you 24/7.
Yeah.
Yeah, we'll stay with you. Don't be afraid to tell us anything.
Yeah, we're gonna stay with you 24/7. So next up, how about sharing some bug fixing working flow with players? From the marketing side, I just want to share that we're posting bug.
You say messing stuff as motivation for a lot of people. Dude, I'm going to be real with you. If somebody wanted to take down a game, they wouldn't do it through that convoluted system. They would just DDoS the authentication servers. You're trying to do this in the most complicated, convoluted way possible for no reason, right? Like, that's why I'm like, nah, dude. Like, I've spent a whole lifetime in security for games, and like, the way that you're describing this is like the most maximum. Yeah, exactly. It's maximum effort, minimum gain. So like, no, I don't think that's a danger. I don't think it's a risk.
Fix announcement frequently through the official website, social media.
Yeah.
So from the dev side, do you have anything you want to share with them?
Yeah, I saw some of you like, and I myself experienced some bugs, and I see you guys saying about why can't we just deliver 100% perfect. We understand that there might be something make you feel bad, but we truly appreciate your patience. Whether we receive feedback from our players, actually we immediately start working on the fixing process. As you can see, we fixed tons of optimizations, and we are already committed like to improve you anything better. We want you to know that, however, fixing bugs is not an easy task, and some may involve a lot of aspects and take time to get right.
My hope is that the hate wave that they got in the beginning dies down, and there's people that are more interested and compelled in the types of systems they're building. I want them to find their community. And the reason why is because they're taking risks. They're doing things we've never seen. There's a hate wave. There's always a hate wave with this stuff. Everybody gets hate waves. That's how it works. There's a bunch of people that get real mad and take it like personally offended that the video game has a problem, right? So like, we rarely see dev studios take these types of risks. We rarely do. And I think that that's shitty. So I'm happy to see a studio take risks. I'm happy to see that. And like, get irritated when they're doing something that is objectively wrong, right?
We're doing our best, and I know it's kind of you for your continued support and understanding. Yeah, thank you.
Thank you, guys. So we're gonna post the bug fix notes like regularly during each week. I mean, each week we're gonna post once or twice. So just stick around to our official website. You're gonna see what devs do.
Yeah, quite a lot.
So last one, will we have more fashion outfits.
Oh, that's the frequent ask as well. Yeah.
Ah, yes.
So maybe
The cosmetic.
there are thousands Hamlets in 1,000 people's eyes, but yes, we will continue to provide more options and to update our store and try to make you have your favorite. We're going to update the stores by week, bringing you fresh cosmetics, and there will also be a new light forge loot crate, which will bring you many high quality and varied theme outfit. So here's a little teaser for you all. So before the summer ends, we will have a swimwear to party our days.
That sounds great. Actually, some players, they did come up to me with an idea that they felt too hot lately.
Also, for those who are worried that the game is going to go like pay to win, the devs have been very clear that they hate pay to win, and that if they were ever forced into a position of pay to win and the game would have to be forced to be pay to win, that all of them would have to be killed. Which is like a whole thing. They're like really adamant about it. Like really adamant about it. They're like ridiculous. So like, yeah, they're like, they'll have to fire us all and murder us. Like, no, dude, it's wild. Yeah, so like, no, game has no pay to win in it. It's fully free to play, and I think that's great. It's cosmetics only. That's the biggest thing. Yeah, the devs are awesome with this, dude. They're super good. I wish we could have them on for an interview, but there is definitely a language barrier there. That's tough, because last time I talked to them, we had to use a translator. It was very difficult. Yeah. Pay shop stuff isn't even that good. Give them time. Let them cook. It's kind of how I feel about it, man. And whenever you have a game first come out and it's like cosmetics based, the cosmetics are kind of, you know, they're not taking too many gambles, and then later you'll have like giant horns and weird bullshit and flying houses and whatever. You know, like there's always going to be weird stuff. Sure, it's not corpo talk. Dude, if you go through life and you see every single thing that any other human being says when they're working at a company as corpo talk, like you're just always going to be disappointed. Judge them based on their actions, not based on what could happen. You know, like this, judge them from what they're actually doing, right? That's important. That's crazy important.
It's time for them to enjoy the summertime with wearing a swimsuit.
Speaking of too hot, yeah, there's also gonna be a new bear-like outfit. Or maybe it's too hot on the way, but it's really cute and cool. You could also see that in our update.
Dude, cute and cool.
Okay, thanks
Double
Liz. So next up, it's time to review the gift code, everyone.
Come on.
If you're in the chat, let me check the chat.
Dude, see, this is what I was talking about with monster design. I love the shit out of the monster design in this game. Look at this weird ass thing. Look at it. You can rip their head off and use it as a gun. It shoots like globs of saliva that do damage. The designs are so freaking rad, dude. They're really creative. They are. They're weird and creative, and I like them. Yeah.
Someone
it's wild,
asked
actually.
questions. Maybe we could check it later on. Okay, the gift code is already here.
So before the maintenance begin, make sure to redeem these codes quickly. So you could press F3 in the game and click the redeem code button at the bottom.
Redeem code. I need to write that down so I can use that later, actually. I'm going to capture that for me. Done.
Right, and enter the codes to claim your rewards.
Okay, and don't forget, we also have a game
Leaked.
giveaway on Twitter. So post a screenshot of you watching the stream on Twitter with the hashtag oncehuman and devstream, and you will be entered to win. We will select 5 lucky viewers to receive
it doesn't work anymore.
$10
No.
Steam card and a special redeem code.
Yeah, so almost forgot. Come on, it's time to pick one lucky meta to receive the free, newest, coolest fashion set, the Psychedelic Skull. Everyone, let's start sending messages on the chat now so we can begin the countdown. Come on.
Yeah, see, this is them trying to make compelling cosmetics in the beginning. I think this is kind of cool looking, but I could see how and understand how you could say this is lackluster, right? I think over time, what you'll see is they'll start to find things that people like, and then they keep moving in that direction. They're going to make some weird bets here and there, and some of them look okay, and some of them won't look okay, and it's going to be different for different audiences. And once they, all cosmetics start tame. Bingo. They do. I think it's a good start because it shows that they're actually putting a lot of detail into these, even if the detail is not your style.
4, just sending more.
Yeah, the finding phase.
3, come on, more. 3,
2.5.
2, 1.5, and 1. Go! Screenshot, please.
I think we tried to bring it up, but it
I think
didn't work.
it's the anime maxed.
Oh.
2.
2.
Oh,
Anime Max,
Anime Max.
yeah, congratulations.
Are you
Oh, they
still
were doing
with
a
us?
giveaway, that's
Come
why.
on, go with the.
That's cool.
So please take a screenshot of your Twitch
Yeah, giving the
channel
Warframe
and-
dev streams vibes, which is positive. That's exactly how I feel about it, right? It's 100% how I feel about it. Is you have a dev team that is clearly invested in the game. They're doing these types of giveaways throughout it. It reminds me a little bit of the Warframe dev streams, right? They're off the cuff. They're having fun. They're laughing about stuff. That's a good thing. They still have to do their call to actions. They still have to talk about different things in the game and be on beat for that. Their production is probably sitting there talking to their ear, telling them to do stuff. But like, this isn't bad. Yeah, early
Okay,
Warframe dev team, big O. Like, you're looking at a dev team that's just starting the journey, and they're starting it in a good direction. I was pretty cagey when I first played the game and I found out the way it was going, and I was like, Jesus Christ, that's not for me. But then after talking to the devs and like working this stuff, this doesn't suck. It's just new. It's new and weird, and they have to kind of like find their place and find the community that matches with what they're building. And there's nothing wrong
on
with
the
that.
Discord server to claim your rewards. We still
PR
got
is hard.
two more fashion sets
Yeah.
to give away, so which will start drawing for shortly.
Yeah, come on, let's go back to our content and move on to our next topic. And earlier we mentioned that Once Human is a scenario-based game, and each season players can choose different scenarios to experience unique storylines and gameplay. So today we'll be sharing the future plans for Once Human scenarios. As we mentioned before, August to October is a period of scenario blast. During those
It's nice seeing a dev team risking stuff. I completely agree with that. I really do. Usually you get indies risking. You always get indies risking, no matter what. And it's because they have the flexibility to be able to do so. You don't get big bets risking. This is a big risk. Like, this game is, no one's done that. And it might not work, right? But like, they're trying it, and it's totally untested waters, and either it'll work and we'll learn a bunch of shit, or it won't work and we'll learn a bunch of shit. But the whole industry, every game is better for them taking this risk, including themselves as developers. Like, everybody's going to win here as a result of this. And that's it. You sell that to China's sponsor? You think that it's a sellout to go and cover a video game inside of the industry just because they're from China because you're a racist? Wow, you suck. I'm glad to ban you. Get out.
3 months, we were
Jesus.
launching 3 different things. In August, after the first season ends, Once Human will introduce the scenario tags. So you will firstly have 2 tags to choose, which will bring the change for the Credo and Mimetic. It will change the Elite Bus. It will change the gacha pool and also the deviation. So the gameplay content will vary quite a lot and give you more fun in building a different string, and you can create a new story. And there also be a normal and hard mode for the 2 existing scenarios.
So that's cool. One of the things I found is that the game was too easy. Like, way, way too easy. And it was because they started us all off on like normal mode and there was no hard mode. Hard mode sounds compelling to me. I would be interested in that. I am very interested in that. Cosmetic is in a loot box, so it costs you $300. There's no loot boxes as far as I've seen. We've never had a loot box. You just buy stuff. Do they have a loot box? Is that what it is? I haven't seen that. I don't think so. I think it's just came to me in a dream shit. But yeah, no, I'm really interested in that. I'm really interested in a hard mode because that game was way too easy. Way too easy. I just walked around popping heads, right? So like, we'll see how that works.
The Malibu Bus and also the Evolution Score. Players will face tougher survival challenges for the
new skin
hard
is loot
mode.
box, so there is a
And
loot box?
for those
You've got a link.
who want to challenge yourself and think the
Hard mode didn't make the game harder, nor did Pro. Are you already playing it? Is it already out?
game was too easy, yeah, your time is gone. And
They read it today. I'm
course,
gonna look into
you
it.
could still choose to play in the newbie mode, maybe creating a new character, yeah, but I wouldn't choose that. That will be a huge loss for me.
Yeah, probably.
Is this from NetEase? It's not an indie
you
game? No,
just
it's not
ask
an
your
indie game.
friends
Never said
to
it
join
was.
it together, and you guys jump into the new server together, new season together.
Wow, that's just a reborn. Because, yeah, that's a new me.
Yeah. So next time I'm gonna introduce the next scenario. So at the end of the September, we'll introduce a new scenario called
Here, let's see. We've got a game news update. Shop Lightforge loot crate rules and drop rates. Each time you purchase and open a loot crate, costs 1 siderite, price of which is 160 Christians. The first 10 purchase inside of each loot theme loot crat. I got a typo. That's not great. Would have a 50% discount, 80 Christians. Is this all cosmetic loot boxing? I don't like this system, generally. Yeah, it's all cosmetic. So, like, I don't generally like this system unless you're getting it. Like, I'll give you a good example. Overwatch 1 did this very well. Division 2 did this very well. And the reason why is every time you gained a level in the game, you got a free one. Yeah, that was nice. I don't understand the currency conversion for this. It's very complicated for this. And it's all cosmetic. I forgot they changed it. Unused cider rates and Lightforge relics will be retained and available to all characters in the same account. You can use them to redeem and open more Lightforge loot crates in the future. How do we get these? So once human a dope game to play, I had fun with it. They're trying to find their place. Guarantee you get a Lightforge crate within every 30 loot crates, and the collection cosmetics won't be duplicated? Okay, so you can't get a duplicate. That's good. That was always one of the problems with that. Like in Overwatch, you just get like gold instead of the duplicate. It would like melt it. Once you draw a collection item, it will be removed from the prize pool, and the drop rates of other remaining items will be raised proportionally. On drawing a Lightforge collection item, the pity drop counter will be reset, as you're guaranteed to get another Lightforge collection in the next 30 drop. It's just cosmetics. It's all cosmetics. Okay. I wish there was a way to earn this in a free-to-play fashion. The reason why is when you are offering something like this, you want the players to feel comfortable enough where they're like, I feel like I'm getting good value. I get to engage with the systems, and now I'm interested in spending money to support what you're doing. I don't know what Siderite is. This is one of the problems I think the game is running into right now. They have currency expansion happening, right? I don't know what a Siderite is. I think I know what a Christian is, but like this is too many currencies, right? Yeah, they're like $3 per loot crate. I don't like 12 different countries. I agree with that. I think it needs to be very simplified, right? Why not make the loot crate cost 160 Christians? I mean, that's exactly it, right? So like it costs one cider rate, which costs this. It's very complicated, convoluted for that. More than 2 currency equals annoying. I agree. Yeah, so like I think that'd be the piece of feedback that I'd give is like it'd be cool to have a free-to-play option to get to this. And then players would feel more comfortable about it, and maybe they want to complete the set by buying extra, cases, because they have to sell stuff for the game to exist. It's free to play, right? They have to do something for you guys to want to spend money on it. But I do think that there are ways to lead that in where it feels better for the free to play player. I do think that's a good thing. I think that this many currencies gets convoluted and it gets like, I don't want to do the math. I just want to shoot zombies, so I understand that's it's too convoluted. So that'd be the feedback I give. It's pretty convoluted.
Prisma vs. Clash. In these scenarios, players will be divided into 2 factions, Mayfly versus Rosetta. If you guys check our official website, we have listed a picture of the coming scenario. So basically, you need to choose a faction at the beginning of this scenario. Once chosen, you will survive as a member of Mayfly or Rosetta throughout the whole season. But I'm kind of curious about one thing. Can players from different factions still be friends? I've noticed a lot of players like to team up with their friends in Once Human. What if they choose different factions? Can they still be friends?
Of course, nothing can harm your friendship.
It's very staged.
You maybe want to be the Romeo and Juliet. So players from different factions can still aid each other as friends. And could
Did they remove the spyware? There never was any spyware. You were just repeating talking points off of Twitter because you don't know any better.
There's
never any spyware.
Friendships. However, to
Such
maintain
a
realistic experience, we have implied some restrictions. While players from different factions can be friends, they cannot share permissions, they cannot form teams, or they cannot join the same hive. So, highly suggest you guys to choose the same faction with your friends. Maybe you can make an appointment before you choosing it.
Yeah.
Say it's probably more staged because language barrier. I agree. I think that's much more difficult. It's very, very, very tough. Why do people think it's spyware? The reason why they think it's spyware is because a number of people claimed that it was because China. There's no actual reason for that. The terms of service itself states that they are only collecting data when local laws make that mandatory. And the reason why this is important to understand is because that's like that for every live service game. All of them. Because local laws in South Korea and China require you to tie your ID or license to your game account. It's a government law for those regions and not for any other regions. So they put it into the TOS specifically stating that it's for local laws to demand it or not demand it. They never ask for this because they don't need to in your region. Doesn't make it right. That is a government law. The game company is not going to go against it. It's the same in World of Warcraft. Are you protesting World of Warcraft for it? No. The only reason to protest this game over that is because you're a racist and you hate China. That's it. That's the only reason. There's no actual reasoning in reality for being mad about this game having the same terminology in it, specifically because it's a live service game. It's just racism. There's nothing outside of that. Like, go and read the TOS for any live service game. You'll find the same shit because it has to be there because it's a government-issued law in all of those regions. This Twitter brain take, dude.
I'm enjoying the same hive together every season. Gonna be fun.
Yeah.
Okay, so what are the differences there, whether between these two factions?
Yeah, so the basic facilities are the same for both factions, but we have made some distinctions in the memetic specialization areas to increase faction conflict. Additionally, the chat channels will be separated by faction, providing a more immersive experience. Yeah.
Wow, that sounds exciting. What kind of other rewards can players earn in this?
Do you know why I know it's mad racism? Do you want to know the reason? Can't disagree with that being racist? No, it's not about disagreeing. It's 100% racism. Do you know how I know? How many of you guys like Genshin Impact? How many of you guys like MiHoYo or ZZZ? How many people in this stream enjoyed me playing that stream on like playing the game on stream? Chinese company. Not a single person bitches because those games are fun and they enjoy them. All that shit only comes out when it's a game that has problems. And the narrative immediately switches over to China bad. No. You're just doing that because of racist reasons. It has nothing to do with the content of the game whatsoever. Not at all. Not even a little bit. We've played all of those games on stream before and no one had a problem. So I think that's shit. I think it's shit behavior. 100%. Call them out on things they're actually doing. Don't make up ghosts and then fight those.
This coming scenario.
Yeah, so currently there are season-based rewards and faction points-based rewards. So since this is a dual faction scenario, personal gain isn't the main focus. The more you contribute to your faction, the richer the reward.
You think it's just fear-mongering? Yeah, it is. Why aren't you protesting League of Legends?
You will receive.
Same shit.
Yeah, let's fight for our factions.
Yeah.
And what are the specific rewards? Can you tell me more?
Oh, those details still be planned. Yeah, so we cannot reveal them just yet. So please be patient. But still, we have prepared a video for metas to know more about the new scenario. So let's check about it.
Is Riot is owned by Tencent, dude. See, this is what I'm talking about. When everybody's like, oh, Chinese spyware in the game. No, there isn't. Are you saying that about League? They're owned by Tencent. Like, this is why I'm talking about this, like, crazy, it came to me in a dream shit from Twitter. Like, you have to stop being this way. You have to grow up a little bit and actually look at the things that you're playing and find out where the ownership even lies. Like, dude. Like, here, let's go look at this. Here's a good one. Y'all like Warframe, right? Who owns Digital Extremes? Who owns them? Who owns Digital Extremes? Huh. Developer to remain creatively independent, but they partner with Tencent. Are we all sitting there going like, oh man, look at all that Chinese spyware in Warframe? So to be real with you, this whole narrative is insane shit. It is fear-mongering to the maximum, dude. Do you claim there's spyware in League? Do you claim there's spyware inside of Warframe? You saying this about Soulframe that's coming out? What about Path of Exile? What about any other game company that Tencent touches? What about MiHoYo? This is why it doesn't make sense. Because it's selectively attacking a game because of eyes to Chinese companies instead of doing that for all the other games that you actually enjoy. That's why it's racist. It's saying, oh, this one's bad because China, but those ones over there, those ones are good because China. Oh, that's fine. They get a pass. China's bad here. No, dude. Be consistent if you're going to be hateful, at least. Jesus. I like that.
Wow,
That's cool.
It seems like the Prismaverse Clash is more of a PvP-focused scenario, but what about players who prefer an open world exploration and a more relaxed survival experience? Are there any new scenario for them?
Yeah, absolutely. We have a scenario called The Way of Winter.
Oh yeah, Leo exercised a call option and increased their stake to 97% of Digital Extremes for a total consideration of $138.2 million US in December 2020. Tencent bought Leo for $1.3 billion, which included the majority stake in Digital Extremes that Leo held. Is Warframe bad now? See? This is me calling you out on your bullshit. It's Canadian spyware. You're Canadian spyware.
Freezing winter and harsh survival conditions.
Yeah, that sounds like there's a survival challenge will be. It's I think it's gonna be a lot tougher than the current one. So where there be a body temperature
I need the game to be harder. It was way too easy.
Where players need to eat extra food or take meds if their body temperature drops too low.
So this is cool. I like the idea of doing environmental factors like that. Like I played a lot of Division 1. And I wish that in Division 2 actually had like a lot of those environmental stuff. If Once Human has environmental like survival options, I'm very excited for that. Like that's something I missed from Division 1. And if you ever played Division 1, you know what I'm talking about, where it's like your body temperature can drop, you have to get heated, you have to get like near campfires and shit. Like this is cool. And I want to see how they do it. Yeah. I want to see how that goes. Yeah, survival mode was really cool. So I'm interested to see what their take on this is, because that's not easy to do. Could be clothing related, could be like flares, all kinds of stuff.
Even die.
Yeah, you did a great job in this. Exactly. To provide a more immersive experience, we introduced a temperature system in the way of winter scenario. Some areas of the map will have extremely low temperatures, requiring players to stay warm by wearing armor or just take potion. If your character stays in the cold for too long, they could suffer. While if severe, it can maybe lead to death. But temperature doesn't just affect your character, it also impacts your livestock and the operation of certain facilities in your territory.
Yeah, Metas, just make sure to stay warm out there.
So you have to build it into your camp. I think that's kind of cool. That means that people are going to be able to build outposts, and you might be able to jump into somebody else's house if you're freezing to death, which means that it's kind of like the community is building infrastructure, which I find to be kind of compelling, right? It may not work out. It may be sort of weird or be too easy, but I think that's kind of a cool attempt. That's a neat direction for that to go. Yeah.
So is there
I'd close the door and
anything
let you
else for
freeze. I'm
those
just saying.
who
I'm just saying.
love collecting like me?
And I take all your stuff.
Yeah, so let me think. Yes, yeah, we've added a new scenic point feature. Across different locations on the map, players will discover various nature landscape. By interacting with those points and taking screenshots, you can unlock them in your
Charge people to access
collection
your heater, dude.
Yeah.
Insert
I
quarter. Don't
definitely
starve.
aim
Don't
to
freeze to
unlock
death.
every scenic points.
Yeah.
I'm such a collector. Thank you for introducing this.
Yeah, then you probably love exploring the open world and just having fun collecting. In the way of winter scenario, we also add various puzzle chests. So you can enjoy the thrill of finding and opening them while in your journey. And we've increased the maximum number of players in the survival squad. After all, it's winter and everyone needs to stick together, like to stay warm.
So that's good. I'm interested to see
okay.
how harsh that is, that
I'm
mechanic.
kind of excited right now. So do we have any video prepared here, and when this scenario will be available?
Yeah, I can't
Are
wait.
you going to stop the server wipes? No.
The scenario will be available in the mid-October. As you see, the winter is coming.
So they're going to have a scenario that's basically using these environmental effects. Not all of them will, right? So that's kind of important. I think that's really interesting to see. I want to see more environmental effects like that. I would love to see more of that stuff. I loved that in Division 1. Yeah, winter is coming stuff is cool.
Come on, let's check the video we prepared for this scenario.
Like, this is neat as hell. And the fact that they're doing this, imagine how they can extend this, right? Yeah, so much potential, exactly. Imagine if they had a scenario where like the sun becomes unbearable at certain times. And like if you're standing in the sun, it does like the light damage off of the heads of those dudes, where it hurts you to be in the sun and you have to go from shadow to shadow. There's all kinds of different ways to do this. You could try so many different environmental effects. You could have lightning, you could have all kinds of shit. Yeah, UV damage, right? Yeah, like V-Rising. So like you can add all kinds of mechanics like this as individual scenarios for that. And this is the first one. The fact that they're implementing any type of environmental effect like this that has a gameplay mechanic to it is compelling to me, because I can see all the different systems that needed to be designed to build that in the first place and see what direction that's going to carry the game into the future. That's cool. Yeah, exactly. This is rad. This is good. I like this. Good shit. Yeah, every scenario could have its own environmental effect or mix and match them, right? This is Once Human. They're adding a bunch of new stuff. That environment's awesome. I dig that.
Wow, wow. Metas, let us know your idea about these two coming scenarios.
I love it.
Liz, do you got anything else like you can share about the future plans?
Oh, just right after
here's the link.
Way of Winter, I'm still excited of it. Okay. So yes, we are also planning to design other scenarios. So there is another PvP is on the way where people can raid and fight freely, anytime, anywhere, no limitation.
That sounds intense.
Yeah.
How's the difference between the Prismaverse verse Clash scenario and the Kami one?
Yeah, the Prismaverse Clash is more about fact.
That's my only concern in the games, is the wipes. I know you mentioned it before during the different video, but it feels like that's going to drive me away from the game. I totally understand, and I feel the same way. I don't like the wipes, and I'm waiting to see what their solution to that is, because they've talked about different things that they're trying to do this, right? I need to see, as a player, I need to see what they're doing to make that compelling to me, you know?
Action-based combat.
Because these features are cool,
new coming,
but I need to see something with the
scenario,
wipes.
However, will offer more freedom in the battles, you know, without any team size restrictions, and maybe you self alone. But the details are still being worked on, so we'll share more in the future stream.
It's a very soft wipe. You keep a lot of stuff. It's still not compelling, like for me. It is a wipe. You lose your character levels down to 1, right? The reason why is this, and people will be like, oh, it's the same as Path of Exile. It's not. So in Path of Exile, you choose at the end of a season to continue playing your character in a non-seasonal capacity, or you stop playing them and you go and do the new season, right? You choose this. You keep all your items, you keep all your character levels, you keep everything. You choose. You choose to start over, right? And in these, it's a full wipe for this kind of stuff. Same with Diablo, same as Path of Exile, normal, super normal. And like with this, you don't have the option of a non-seasonal. So you always lose your levels, but you don't lose anything else. And it all becomes very complicated of like, what do I lose? What don't I lose? And the reason that I could say it's overly complicated is because every single one of their public messaging things is like, here's what you're losing. Here's what you're not losing. And everyone's like, Jesus Christ, this is just over the top, right? It needs to be a simple transaction. It needs to be simple for them to understand, for players to understand. When it gets this in the weeds, it becomes too complicated and just ridiculous, right? Yeah, they need to simplify it. It's way too complicated. I think that's probably the biggest thing with it. Isn't Eternal Land the non-seasonal? There's no content there. That's like creative mode in Minecraft. You build stuff. I think that's the thing that's important. Is it's just a building world. So there's no like things to do. There's no dudes to shoot, right? It's just a house on an island. Doesn't do anything. Yeah. So I think that's the biggest thing with that, is you just build shit there. So because of this, there's no non-seasonal content. There's no like permanent world, right? And I think that's the big thing for a lot of people. There needs to be something like that.
Okay, got it. So after sharing the previous teasers about the upcoming scenario blast period, I want to remind everyone that we really want to polish each one of it. This means it will take time to plan the content and create the assets. So please be patient and bear with us as we work to deliver the best experience as possible.
Yeah. Please have faith in us.
And I mean, what about the DirectX 12 and DLSs?
I see.
Yeah, I feel like Eternal Land is kind of like your private stash, but turned into a world. So you're just like, I'm going to take all my items and throw it in this world. You know, like that's...
They are under our plans, the DirectX 12 and also the DLSS. Those technology will significantly enhance the game's performance and the visual quality, as I know which is for. And as we promised, we aim to implement them as soon as possible with a target to let our players experience them maybe by inside this month.
We already posted that by August.
Within this month.
Okay. And how about the controller support? Because a lot of people, they keep asking.
Oh, yeah. So actually, Once Human is already support controllers will just after today's update.
Okay.
I love that take. 100% no spyware in this closed source software because they promised. Why is that different from World of Warcraft? Why is that different from League of Legends? Why is that different from Destiny 2? Why this game and not those? And the answer always goes back to the same thing, because this game is made in China. And that's just racism. It's not reality. That's you making shit up because you don't like these people and where they're from. And I have absolutely no respect for that.
Tell a friend. So after today's update and after the maintenance, Once Human will support controllers. And we have prepared for it for quite a long time and just want to give you a better experience. And if you encounter any issues while playing with the controller, please contact us. Yeah, we're in our way. And the customer service team will glad to know your details, maybe like your controller's model, and we will address and fix any issues as quickly as possible. But I'm glad and I hope you have fun with your controller playing with your friend.
Exactly. Just to let you know, if you're facing any issue, just go to the Discord channel, and we have a section called Feedback Desk. Then you could share any of your ideas out there. So we have also seen many players requesting the additional of new languages in the game. I think we could share more about this.
Oh yes.
I look pissed. I'm a little bit pissed. And the reason why I'm a little bit pissed is this. You have a dev team that launched something that's very unique. We haven't seen it in the market before. I didn't find the core gameplay loop to be compelling. A lot of other people didn't either. We gave feedback to the devs. Devs were willing to listen. They actually set up a meeting with me where they had a dude that had to speak over. Had a translator to talk to me, and they communicated that back out to the world on Twitter, the meeting that we had. Then talked to everybody inside of the community. Started taking feedback from everybody. They've started implementing changes to the game to try to make it better. And people are shitting on them for it. And I think that's absurd. They're doing everything that you want to see from a developer, but they have this like cloud over them just because they're making it out of China, which is ridiculous. I think that's ridiculous. I think these devs are doing exactly what they should be doing, and they're doing right by their players. We should be celebrating that shit, dude. And I find that to be obnoxious. I really do.
So in the update in the September,
yeah, let them cook.
Once Human will support more languages, there are several more coming in the way. So including Russian and Spanish.
Cool.
We will continue to add more languages in the future updates to ensure that more metas worldwide can enjoy a smoother gaming experience. But just wait for the September, and Russian and Spanish users will be glad.
Simply Viet.
I wonder which Spanish translation they're doing. They're probably doing Spanish from Spain. That makes a lot of sense. We want to do Spanish from Spain for our games too, and try to that. And our Russian translator, we can't pay them because they live in Moscow, so we have to wait until the sanctions and all that are done. Maybe one day. That's kind of where we're at on it. It sucks.
Hola. I only can speak this too. Okay, it's time for the new giveaway round. Giveaway! Come on, everyone!
Nah, you can't pay them in crypto. I'm not really about violating federal sanctions and going to jail forever. It's not like a good plan, man.
Giveaway time.
3, 2, 1.
Okay.
Once Human News.
So get the codes.
New code. I want to write this on a thing. Once Human News. Good.
And press F3 in the game. Click the redeem code button. I believe you guys already know how to exchange for your rewards.
No. If you're United States-based business, you can't pay anybody who lives in Russia, dude. Sanctions are sanctions. You can't violate them. Yeah, that's a foolish mistake. And doing that through crypto is not going to make it easier. I'm a United States-based business. I would not break federal law. That's a bad idea. What is that thing? This is one of the monsters. So one of the things I find compelling about Once Human, they took wild liberties with monster design. It's phenomenal, dude. It's actually really cool. And I think that's awesome to see. Just weird creatures. Weird. Can't you hire a Ukrainian if you need Russian? I don't want to fire a Russian translator just because they live in Moscow. I hired them on. We have them as a team member. I get to talk to them all the time. I ask if they're safe all the time. And one day we get to work with them again. I don't want to outsource their job to somebody else because of sanctions. I think that feels awful. It's a horrible thing to do to that person. And on top of that, people in Russia can't even buy the game anyway right now. At least the grand majority of them can't. So we're just going to wait. And the people who generally speak in Russian or can read Russian Cyrillic, we just put in a warning at the beginning of the game that says it's not finished in that area. And they're fine with it. But I don't want to fire someone just because of geopolitics that are outside of their control. That's awful.
The redeem code is valid till the August 18th, so you can redeem it anytime within the time limit. Please mark the codes.
Wow, it's another ad time again. To join our Twitter event, post a screenshot of you watching the stream on Twitter with the hashtag OnceHuman and DevStream, and you'll be entered to win. We'll select 5 lucky viewers to receive a $10 Steam card and a special redeem code.
Yeah, okay. So also another part, let's also pick another lucky meta to receive the free new coolest fashion set, the Psychedelic Skull.
So they basically, this is cool because this does remind me of Warframe. If you ever watch the Warframe dev streams, they're constantly doing giveaways on the stream. They're constantly doing this kind of stuff. And I think positive, like really positive, actually. Yeah. This reminds me of like, how many of you guys were there at the beginning of Digital Extremes? Like when they were first doing Warframe streams and they were kind of silly. They didn't really know how to do it yet. They were trying this kind of stuff. This feels like this. It was rough, but like this is the beginning of their adventure in that. And like, dude, that's something to be, for me, it's celebrated, right? I'm happy they're doing this. Warframe. So like Warframe started like this, doing this type of stuff. And I think it's a good thing.
So
What's an example of a truly innovative recent game?
Barbosa.
I think you see that all the time, but the difference is you usually see innovative choices in the indie scene. You usually see developers making games that are unique and taking chances on indie side because they're faster, they're leaner, right? And it's hard to move the big industry companies because the bet is so dangerous. Gambling on stuff that may not work, right? Gambling on stuff that is expensive and could fail. You don't see that in AAA. They're gambling on something that's big. They're trying a bunch of weird stuff. Some of it works, some of it does not work, right? That's awesome. Because they're not an indie. They're a big company doing all kinds of, like, it's a gamble, dude. It's a gamble. So, like, I like this kind of stuff. I like seeing this kind of stuff. There are things in here that I don't find compelling, and I've been talking about them the whole time. There's stuff that I don't like, but there's stuff that I do like. Baldur's Gate is a really innovative one. That's a good gamble. That's a gamble. That was probably the last big gamble that I saw, was that game. Because it tried so many things that were just unique and wild and cost way more than just making a linear game. So like, yeah.
Let's bring it back to the present and go over the content of today's update.
It's very important to know which will happen in this update. So this update for me is not a minor one. It's quite significant since it involves the first season renew and the scenario restriction phase will change, which we take very, very seriously. And first, after hearing our explanations about the seasons and scenarios, I wonder if everyone have gained some new insight into the gameplay.
Although our season and scenario gameplay are indeed very special, I believe that once made us experience it firsthand, everything is gonna become clear.
Yeah, we will try our best.
Once Human feels a bit all over the place, have a lot of elements from different genres, but fall flat in all of them. They seem to want to cater to all. I don't think they're trying to cater to all. I think they're trying to do something that didn't really work in the beginning, right? And they're trying to do different things with it. It's a very unique game concept, which is, I want to make a world where every couple of weeks we make a new world, and that world is different. It's experimentation in the game. Normally what you would get for a game like this is normally you would have them do, like, I'm going to make a world, right? And then after a couple of months of you doing the same world, they'd make another expansion zone and then another expansion zone. And here's the thing that's really interesting about this. Most of the time, most players will not go back to the last expansion zone unless they're trying to 100% those areas, or there's like a cosmetic thing or a mount or whatever that they can go pick it up. So I can understand the idea of attempting to create one where these just don't exist anymore, but I don't know if that's going to work, right? And that's effectively what they're doing here. So like, I don't know. I don't think anyone knows if that works out because no one's done this, right? And I find that to be weird, like super weird. We've just never seen it. Guild Wars 2? No, all the shit stays in Guild Wars 2. They do have the Foreverland is like creative mode in Minecraft though. It's not the same.
Like to ensure this process will be smooth. And
if you join late, you miss a bunch. You don't though, because everyone's resetting to level 1 at the beginning of every single one of those new areas, so you don't miss a bunch of stuff. You just miss out on cosmetics, right?
Give you a nice experience. So just contact us or with any problem.
It's a crazy experiment. It's wild.
Can we?
I'm glad they're doing it.
Can we
Really
start
glad they're
playing?
doing it.
So maybe let's move on to the
Yeah, the
what
bus
will
is cool. It's
happen
in-game.
in the updates in the games. Oh,
You missed out on a story we don't know yet.
Servers. Are you with me? Yeah, I'm playing the game and just want to show you the new features.
Oh yeah, they changed
from
fishing.
Today's updates.
Yeah, the newest, the updated fishing.
When you miss out on blueprints, I don't know.
This
You might be able to
mosquito
keep them
update.
forever. Like they may exist in the next world. You just have to
Yeah, the
unlock them.
updated fishing system.
Yeah, I
first
always love to fish. Yeah, in other games, like I often use fishing to pass my time, but the best part is to interact with the fish and
You wanna capture
wait
the bus?
for
I mean, you
what
can just
can
find the bus.
get.
Pull stuff out of it.
Come on, what I can get.
I think that previously you gotta.
I wanna see how they changed this, 'cause they did a bunch of
continuously
fishing in the
press your mouse to get
Yeah.
the fish on, but after today's update, you
The
need
mods
to
were
control
fed
with your,
$10.
I
It's
mean,
$10 the mods.
keyboards to using like Q, E, or T to control how.
Yeah, the
to
wipe is
get
barely a
those.
wipe now. It wasn't before. It was a wipe before, but now it's barely a wipe.
Sometimes I think this kind of gameplay
It's
is
the fine gifted subs
helping me
thing.
with building more patience. Yeah, but
Just as in the reality life.
yeah, but the excitement of what I can get will be helping.
Okay, let's see. So they still had the bait like before.
Yeah, but I mean, this is it's kind of the first phase of updating. Still, we're gonna add more features in the future to the fishing, right?
Yeah,
I actually like this little icon because it shows you if it's been caught or not.
I'm
When you can't
trying.
see the bobber.
As I'm streaming, I want to give a big one and like so I can show off to every chat.
That's a better system. Look at this. This is so much more clear. Where you have to pull to the left or pull to the right while you're doing this, and it shows the reel and the strength. No, that's a way better system than it was before. God, before it was just like, what am I doing? I have no idea. No, this is way better.
Every chat.
Someone said,
No,
"Don't
that's
fish
great.
Again, you can fish.
I fished a
you
ton
can
of the
fish."
game. This looks way more, like,
After
way
today's
more
update,
clear to the
look,
player.
look, that's what I get.
Yeah, the 2 bars before were not good.
Yeah, the bug is
Way more clear.
Annoying.
Yeah.
I know.
A little bit of bass hunter out
Send
there.
them in the Discord server.
Yeah, every time we come back with a bug, we know it's annoying. So every time, just
I had no problem before, but it does seem better. I had no problem after I figured it out,
So
but this
many-
feels
many bugs,
instantly more clear.
before,
Does that make
actually,
sense?
We fix it within a day, and with some very hard ones, we may cost more time, but we just want to ensure that everything that we cool down will be dealt. I like this one. This one looks quite kind of cute.
It should show the fish's point of view. That's a bit grim, dude.
Yeah, someone said you're gonna wait for a huge long time, but I mean, in the reality life, you gotta wait. Patience is everything when you're doing fishing.
I know, but actually, it's a lot shorter than the reality.
I'm concerned about their ability to maintain pace with the content from the new seasons, but it's coming from Fortnite. Yeah, no, I was concerned about that too. Because, like, I'm a little concerned about the pace. Because, like, dude, if you're building a whole new world, like, you're building all new kinds of stuff and, like, a whole new story for that, like, how fast can you really do that, right? That's the thing that's really interesting to me. So I'm waiting to see, like, how different is the map, really? I have no idea. I have no clue. So I'm kind of excited for that. I want to see if they can do it.
Right, you can. I just pull it down and just around 5 seconds or more. Yeah, it's random, but then I get one to fight with the fish.
Okay, so someone asked in the chat box, like, will we still got a giveaway? Yes, we still got a one last chance for the newest fashion set.
One.
Should it be able to throw fish at each other? Someone's asking, will it be harder than the current one? I think
I don't think so.
Yeah, you could control more because currently you only press your mouse, like continuously press. It's
For
boring.
me, I feel like it's just more complex, more rich,
The fishing system,
and
yeah.
more flexible. So it's kind of like enrich the gaming play and have fun that I can challenge myself using more technologies, some little tricks to make it better.
I'm glad they made it so
Something
you can
like
have more fish. Look. One of the biggest problems that I had when I was fishing is, like, I have to build a fish tank for every fish one at a time. They filled up the fish tank with all the different fish.
that. So yeah,
Yeah,
I won't
it's
call
one of the
it
patch notes.
harder, but definitely more fun.
So okay, you're back to your home.
Yeah.
Oh.
You can now have animals too.
Oh, this
So you can
is
farm animals
also
now.
the coming feature.
Yeah. Come on, I'm showing the ranching. This is my home, and
Yeah, this is like
I
one of the
just
things that they've added. All this is
my
animal husbandry.
ranching method, the mimetic. Let's check that. Yeah.
So you could
you
feed
guys
them, right?
take notes. Those animal capture and animal taming. So you could, I will say, make friends with the natures in the, in the nature creatures, and
Yeah, you could do
doing
taming and then you could do
this,
harvesting of the
needles,
animals.
So it could help me.
Which is
and
wild.
Also this whistle. So I'll show you guys how to range the ranging system and how to make friends with the animals.
Yeah, it's a good update.
Okay, a lot of people they're saying some.
I just want to keep them all in my house.
I like the rabbit. It's so cute.
Yeah, the rabbit is so cute. Mom, I'm gonna keep it.
Oh,
So
can we
running
just
into the.
press? Guys. Too much chat. I
Sorry guys, I have to shoot it.
Can't believe it. Bambi's dead.
No animal are harmed in this stream, okay?
Exactly.
Okay, so make it wake and
So you hit it for one damage and you sedate it with a knife, and then you can capture it.
Someone's asking, can we?
That's cool.
Throw snowballs to
Oh, they have
each other
grades.
during
Oh, wait a
the
minute. Oh, God,
October
no.
one?
Oh, God, no.
Exactly.
Wait a minute.
and get a best chance.
Oh,
Gotcha.
someone's asking,
Oh,
can we
wait a minute.
like throw snow?
My life is over. S tier deer, dude. Yeah, dude. Oh, man. I need an S tier deer. I need it. I don't even know why I need it, but I need it. Oh, God damn it.
Snowballs to each other during the October one.
I'll take that down.
This is
I will
fun. This
check.
is absolutely fun.
Yeah.
But I'm not sure if we can really do that in game.
Animal
here
tiers, are you
in the-
serious? All the items in the game have like different grades and qualities and all kinds of shit. This is kind of par for the course, right? I don't even think it's really that big of a deal. I'd be interested to see what like the difference in production between an S tier animal and like an F tier animal is, right? And if that production is like 10%, like who gives a shit? But I'm
That's
interested.
short
I want to
time
see what
because,
that
I mean,
means.
Developing 3 new scenario just in this short time.
But don't worry.
I know you guys, it's hard.
Yeah. Don't worry. Like we will try our best to bring more like fun in the game.
Get more traits the higher the tier.
Even we didn't make it
Interesting.
in this October, it will come.
Is chat S tier?
later
Some of
in
chat
the others.
is S tier.
So we don't
Some
know
of chat
what
is
will
F
happen.
tier.
Some of the
You will
things
have to
are still
decide
being
which is which.
banned. Let me put the deer. Hello, dear. Many things are still be planned, so
I'm S tier?
the future is bright.
I don't know about
and
that,
full of
Zephyra.
possibilities.
I don't know about that.
Stay with us, come on. You can
Oh my
grow with
God.
what's human.
Bit
Why
ambitious.
is a lot of people they are still saying they want to slap their friends with the fish? Oh my god, this sounds funny, but
This is funny, but
violence.
don't do that to your friends in reality, or
Oh, because fun.
make
sorry guys.
Make sure you are safe.
Yeah, sorry guys. You guys are sending too much information out there. I gotta pick some of it, but everything here we take a like screenshot. And
Maybe, yeah, I showed quite a lot about the ranching and also the fishing.
I'd be really interested to find out like how much of this content kind of sits like in a state where it's like, hey, we tried this thing, did this work, and then they kind of add on to it later. I want to see. Like I really want to see what they add to
As you can
this.
see, it will be
'Cause
a
they're-
very
they're
nice
systems
side,
building.
Tricks, gameplay aspects in your daily once human life. Yeah, it will enrich your daily routine, and maybe you could have more fun with that. So yeah,
yes,
it's fun, right?
yeah, absolutely slap.
Yeah. I feel I can spend thousands, tons of times in it.
This is
Yeah.
the most funny part.
Yeah. So yeah.
Okay,
that's-
next you're gonna show them next one because
Yeah.
we don't. I
don't-
mean, we're already here for around 50.
There we go. Is that a boss?
Oh, someone want me to wish? Got it.
Wow. That's fun. I always want to jump right into
The audio's a bit weird. That's the recording.
That is a trail.
Ancient One's Trail.
Okay. And yeah,
Yeah, their in-game audio is
the
broken.
Trail by some shooting the baboon. You know what? I'm the best in playing this in the theme park. Yeah, pretty clear.
Yeah, I think it looks a little bit janky.
Yeah.
The audio's a bit weird.
Right now, if all this
It's just balloon shooting?
giveaway, so we're gonna have one last round of giveaway of the newest coming fashion set shortly.
Weird.
Maybe 10 to 20.
That's kind of not what I expected. I
I'm
expected
not
it to be
sure
like a
about
big
this, but
boss, you know?
Keep following.
Oh. Okay, that's kind of cool. The audio is a mess here. I'm gonna mute it because that audio is an absolute mess during this part of the video. Just to activate it. Okay. I know the balloons like tie into a bunch of other stuff that's going on in the game, but I wish these were like demons or screaming heads or something. You know what I mean? Like I wish it was like a, I don't know, something, anything. It feels like balloons. Yeah. They could be. This could be a test. I don't think it's a test because you're using different types of balloons for all this. It's kind of cool, but also, I don't know. I like the idea, but I wish that there was more stakes there than just like shoot the things that are balloons. You see the video of Miskiff's game failing? What do you mean failing? I hope his game didn't fail. It would suck. Gun VFX are off? Yeah, no, all the audio is broken at this part of the game. Yeah, I'm going to see if we can get past it. Because it looks like it's all balloon shooting.
Explains about the bug fix notes. We are not going to the bug fix notes. It is not a dev post, so it is. So we what I'm planning is to post it twice a week if we got too much bug fixes. But I just want to let you guys know. So we will have bug fix note every. Once we have bug fixes, but currently every week we are updating on the official websites.
Trying to think. I'm trying to think what I would want to do with that. So it looks like they've just added in a kind of like flying event. Yeah, it's just flying event shooting,
no,
right?
It's not a bug.
And that's it.
Just a design like that.
For that one.
But if you guys wanted moving, we could consider about this later.
Okay. Okay, nice.
I feel like that model could have been used for something way more interesting, like way more compelling. And it feels like it was kind of used in an anticlimactic way. That's how I feel about that. I like the idea of a big flying plane with arms and all kinds of stuff. Having a cool boss like that would be really neat. And I think it would be nice to have it where it is based on interactions with like fighting it or something like that, where you're just flying around on its back shooting balloons is not really interesting for me. You know? Fight cooler meter plane? Yeah, anything like that. Yeah. Graphic hinted with a fight for it? Yeah, it did. That's why I'm wondering.
Check the Ancient One's trails. Yeah, we shoot baboons on and crashed airplanes. That's why it called the Ancient Ones. Yeah. So next, we want to show you some Spore-led Conquest. Since this is a PvP gameplay and only be available in the PvP scenario, it's hard for us to.
So this is the PvP stuff. Let's go look at this.
Live. So also we
Sproutlet Conquest. Let's see. Okay. We got Battlegrounds. We have objective-based Battlegrounds. All right. All right. With PvE objectives on top of it. This is great. They should have opened with this. Yeah, they should have opened with this, dude. Okay, 100% real. That looks compelling as shit to me. Having PvP and PvE objectives inside of that PvP gameplay. Oh, there's Jellyfish. Yeah, you can have him as a head. I think that looked great. There's nothing wrong with it at all. Having scenario-based objectives like that is just good. That's super good. Whole first month was basically a larger beta test. Yeah, kind of feels like it. But that's normal when you're releasing a live service game that is not like super well received. You have to readapt, and that is a difficult thing, right? And they're doing something unique. They're doing something we haven't seen before in the industry.
How about
for
that?
better or
That's
worse.
I love that jellyfish.
Yeah, the head.
Release date? It's already out. Go
indeed.
play it.
So you could only check this
Unless you're talking about
gameplay
that
in the
feature, I think that's
Evolutions core because
also
it's a
already.
PvP gameplay, so we only like open it in the PvP scenario. So Evolutions core, and in this gameplay, you will see a centric where we'll erase more violence conflict, and in the other space around, the fight will be more at ease. So you could check that, and also make sure to build a camp around the sentry partner, so you don't need to run too many times. What if you dead?
Okay,
Yeah,
so
play hard.
as soon as
Have fun.
today's maintain is over, I'm gonna try this.
They made fishing a
Kind of
lot better.
different,
Yeah, I
yes.
saw. It looks so much better, dude.
Oh, it's time for that.
Oh, okay. So it's time for the last free fashion set giveaway. The coolest, the newest, psychedelic. Let's go.
Maybe
Everyone-
just a moment. I just want to gather more people out there. Yeah,
Okay.
because someone's keep asking, guys,
Come on,
are you
guys.
here?
It's the last chance. So
Yeah.
be there and maybe call your friends.
It
in
looks
case
like that's
anyone
it. It's all just the giveaway at the end.
Yeah.
So I do think this is compelling, at least to me. I think that what they're doing is a risk inside of the industry. I think they're trying new things that we haven't seen before, and they're trying to navigate through that. And that's not easy, man. Like, that's really hard. The reason why I find this to be okay is because the devs are trying this while talking to the players. A lot of the times companies will just shut out the player base and just try to do whatever, but they're talking and taking feedback. That's the point. That's the whole point with this. Like, that's incredibly important. Let me go pull this up real fast. They've got an FAQ for this. So they got the revamped fishing system. They added animal ranching, new fishing trophies, wilderness game modes, the Ancient Ones trial. This looks way more epic than what it was in game. If the Ancient One's trial is literally just shooting balloons while riding on its back, I'm gonna be kind of depressed. Because it's such a cool model used for such like a mundane ass use, right? That's all it is. That's anticlimactic as hell then. Server invitations is cool. This is mandatory, which is make it so that when you buy something, it applies to all your characters. Controller support is gonna be big for people that have physical disabilities. That's good to see. The fishing system revamp is great, and the new animal ranching feature is great. I don't think they've done anything wrong here. I really don't. The only thing I can say is that this thing's the Ancient Ones trial feels like it's overhyped and underdelivered, right? Which makes sense. It's just balloons. It's not that interesting, right? Everything else seems fine. Sadly, animal ranching is really bugged at the moment. I'm not surprised. Not surprised. Lightforge loot crates. So, like, this looks cool as shit. I'd like to see this in-game. Like, does that look cool in-game? Does anyone have a look of this? Has anyone seen this yet? What do you not like? I think that the Ancient Ones trial is kind of lackluster. I think that's lackluster, dude. Like, this looks like I'm going to fight a big monster. And if you're just standing on its back shooting balloons, that's kind of like, you know, that's sort of a meme. This looks way cooler than the actuality. Like, way cooler. There's too many currencies as well. I agree with that. I don't like the amount of currencies in the game. You don't like the furry suit? I mean, that's a teddy bear. Is that what we're calling a furry suit these days? That's what we're doing? This is furry today? The standard has dropped so far. If that's what we're calling furry now. Yeah. I love the internet. You guys are outrageous, dude. All right. Well, I think that was cool to look over. I think this looks compelling to me. I think the biggest narrative overall for me is a couple of things. One, it shows me that the general player base still has a lot of people that are upset because this company is owned by a company in China. But their hate on that is misguided because they don't go after Warframe and Digital Extremes, nor do they go after League of Legends and Riot Games. So I think that it's inconsistent hate that just evolves into racism that doesn't make any damn sense. That's number one for me. Number two, I think a lot of the systems that they're trying to put forward do look compelling, although unpolished, is how that feels. Compelling systems that are unpolished is good when you're trying to develop things rapidly so that you can polish them later. And I think what they're trying to do is throw a bunch of things at the wall to get it to see if it sticks, because they've taken a bunch of gambles on stuff. I don't think it's a bad thing. I think that this is interesting, and I'd like to see them cook, right? I want to see the more stuff that they can do. Is this enough for me to be kind of spending all my time in the game? No, but it is enough for me to want to keep tabs on it and pay attention to the developers and see what they're doing and keep kind of a finger on the pulse for it, right? And I find that to be a good thing, because otherwise I just wouldn't, right? Like, imagine if we were like, man, there's all these problems with the game, and then they responded with, okay. But instead they're like, what about these things? Do you like these things? We'll keep trying to make things. We'll see what you like, and then we'll go forward from there. You know, like, they're trying something, and they're trying to have that open line of communication with the players. So I don't think there's a problem there. Is there a mobile version? It's not a mobile game, so no. That's what gacha games do, promote MTX through creating mini pockets of constraints for each new currency. This isn't a gacha game. Like, they added a loot box to this. I wouldn't describe that as a gacha game. Gacha games usually have, like, items that you'd have to get out of the box, and then you have to merge them. Is there a mobile version of the game? Is that true? I never even knew that. Mobile version. No shit. They actually have a mobile version, unironically. I didn't know that. I wonder what it plays like. Now I kind of want to know. Oh, it's not out yet. It's pre-registered. Yeah, it's in the works. I mean, that's a big deal, man. The mobile market's massive, so I'm not surprised they're doing that. I just wonder if it's going to run well on it, right? Like, I think it's the difficult thing there. Yeah, it says pre-reg. It says pre-reg. You have to pre-register for it. You can't play it yet. They're adding new difficulty campaigns. I saw that, and I'm compelled by that. I want to see more difficulty in the game, and I think my biggest positive takeaway from this is environmental elemental effects. That looks good. Nothing about that looks bad to me. I want to see more of that. That's very, like, I love Division 1. I love that they were doing that. Environmental hazards is like, yes. Like, please, I need that. That's the thing I care about the most. Out of anything that they showed me, that's the one that I think is interesting.